What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ink Drink Think, episode 11, the Star Wars episode. Part 2 is here. And joining me, as always, me being Michael Pickard, are my Jedi Council of Johnny Wise. Johnny, you have the floor.
Yo, how you doing? I'm Johnny. And last time I was pretty close to finishing inking Todd's pencils of Han and Chewie. We were talking about how clean it's starting to look, how much fun I'm having with the fur on Todd's Chewie. And I am pretty much, I just have a foot to go. So not in terms of a measurement. That'll be quite a bit of drawing. Just a foot, just not very much drawing. And I think I'm probably going to get onto some colors after that, maybe.
Nice.
Ooh.
See what I do with that. I don't have any ideas right now, but I'll see where the mood takes me.
Yeah.
And right now I am drinking a Moscow Mule.
Classy as always.
I told you I'm getting bougier and bougier.
Classic.
The next time we come to Johnny's gonna have like a gold chain. He's gonna have like gold everywhere. Everything around him is gonna be marble.
Yeah.
Totally
Big
bourgeoisie.
statues everywhere, yeah. I'm gonna have gold teeth.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
Joining us too, the Padawan himself, Nate Wells. Nate, you are up, buddy.
Hey guys, Nate Wells. I'm still inking Mike's pencils for Kit Fisto, my favorite background, not an actual character Jedi from the prequels. He's a green fish alien with like tentacle dreadlocks. That's cool.
A handsome one at that. Don't forget, he's handsome.
Dude. He's ripped. I'm drawing him shirtless, thanks to Mike, and I couldn't be happier. Yeah, I didn't get very far in the last one. Mike has got some fish in the background that I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle, so we'll see what happens with these fish. And then he's underwater, so I'm just going to make the water just black. It's just going to be black. So this episode's probably just going to be me with the biggest brush I have, just like a kindergartner laying down blacks. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited to get into it, though. So far, I'm really happy with it. I think me and Mike make a good pair. I think we approach drawing in a similar way. But I'm still drinking my Shiner Bock tonight, and loving every minute of it.
Nice.
Nice, man. And of course, I feel the same way about our collaboration. I don't want to get too saucy with it, but I do think we make a good team.
Very
saucy.
Conservative. Yeah, very conservative. It's a lot sexier than that.
Yeah, we'll keep it outside of the recordings. And of course, guys, Jedi Master himself, Todd Blackwood. Todd, you are up.
Hey, so I'm working over Johnny's pencils, and
Damn, dude.
going. I love me some liquify tools I was talking about earlier. I actually erased a bunch of it that I felt like I don't know. Wasn't quite sure what I did, but I started not quite liking it. So I'm gonna try it over again. So right now I've got a bunch of swirls for the coloring, and I'm going. I'm gonna add a bunch of red highlights and redo the details in his face and in his gloves and the pattern in his shoulders and everything that Johnny put in there. And I might use a different brush for it. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and then I'll start working on that cliff. But it's pretty psychedelic so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
To no one's
That's a good word
surprise.
for it.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Love it. Great. I might move that horizon line down too. That might be the only big change I might make, but I'm kind of undecided about it still.
I did go back and forth on the horizon line. I moved it all
Did
over
ya?
the place. Yeah, and then kind of
Let's do
settled
that.
on.
Yeah.
I knew that you were going to go crazy with it anyway, so I was like, I'll just put it somewhere in between where I think it should go, and Todd will figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can't decide at what point it stops working. You know what I mean? Like at what, or in other words, at what point does it stop becoming your drawing if I change too much?
Oh, go mad. Honestly.
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of, it's got a cliff, a horizon. I could make these big giant suns. I mean, there's so much possibility there. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to leave it open for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome.
Well, here, I'll round out the quartet real quick. Like I said, guys, I'm Michael Pickard. Tonight, I'm going to be inking Nate's Luke Skywalker pencils. If you watch part 1, you could see that I'm almost done all of Luke's line work. In this episode, I'm going to get into the background a little bit. I don't think there's any chance I'm going to get into brushwork at all. It's pretty elaborate, but I'm going to have a really good time because, as I've said to the guys, I do enjoy noodling background detail, and this has a ton of it. That. No, it's one of my favorite things. It's almost like free flow drawing. So I'm really excited to get into the background here. And tonight, I didn't say it in part 1, but I'm enjoying Troegs Perpetual IPA, brewed here in Pennsylvania. Support the show. So here, I'll flip around my camera real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Those are looking good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just a little bit I need to do in terms of, or a little bit. There's a lot I need to do in terms of the background, but it's not a dreadful thing. I'm looking forward to it very much so. I really enjoy background details like that where it's not too specific where you're having to illustrate something one for one, like a likeness of a character, for example. So I, there's a little bit of freedom to it. So I'm really excited.
Which I've also made you do.
No, but you did the hard work. You did all the structure in your pencils here to get it to look like Luke Skywalker. I just have to translate it. So
yeah,
I'll get
I'm
the
realizing
easy part
now
on that.
if I had gotten the pencils that I gave you, I'd be like, really? Gonna make me draw an actor? Yeah. Sorry about that.
Listen, that was on you, man. You're the one who drew the actor.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. I was thinking this with Todd's. It's a good mix you've got, Todd, where it looks like Harrison Ford and also doesn't. You've got Han Solo. It's not really a likeness because it's so like, the lines are just like so expressive.
Yeah.
You've just nailed it with like very few lines. Really well done.
I've tried to draw him from memory a number of times and thought I could do it, and then I realized how complicated his face actually is.
Yeah, he's got a really bizarre face.
He does. Yeah, he doesn't look it's easy to make a guy that doesn't look at all like Han Solo. And that's the problem I have with the Solo movie, is I think that actor was nothing against him, but a terrible choice for that character. He didn't do Harrison Ford at all, and I think that they really botched that movie. Harrison Ford's very specific.
Yeah, I gave that one a miss.
I think if you have to play Han Solo in a movie, you have to do Harrison Ford, whereas Chris Pine in the new Star Trek movies is doing a version of Captain Kirk that works because it's better for him to not quite do William Shatner. He's doing his own take on an iconic character. Whereas there's just so much Harrison Ford in Han Solo that I think they need there was a guy. Did you guys see the guy that everybody thought they were going to choose? He was spot on. Like, they made it, I think, the biggest mistake in the world not going with that guy.
And it wasn't who they went with?
No.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that guy then.
There's a guy who plays Harrison Ford as a young man in flashbacks in some movie, and everybody was like, oh my god, you found the guy that can take over for Han Solo and Indiana Jones. And he not only looks exactly like him, but he sounds exactly like him. And he's both in the movie with him, but he also he has YouTube videos of him doing Han Solo. I'm sure he wanted the role. Like, he looks like Harrison Ford from the back. Like you see him and you just like, oh my god, that's him. That's Harrison Ford. And I'm confounded to this day as to why they chose to go with that different actor. Harrison Ford has a really deep voice.
Yeah, he does.
You know, he's very different from Luke. Like he and Luke are really opposite, and that's probably one of the great contrasts of that movie that makes it work so well. Otherwise, to make them interchangeable would have been a bad mistake. But yeah,
Well, speaking of the movies, I'll introduce a opening question to you three. Which is the greatest fight scene of all of the Star Wars movies?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and young Obi-Wan from Phantom
Yeah,
Menace
that's a-
is
that's a good
phenomenal.
That was my
With
answer
the-
as well.
With the score, it's
man, that
oh my
score.
god, it's good.
Fuck yeah!
Wow.
I'd forgotten about that score.
I
Also,
was not expecting you to say that.
yeah, also emotionally, like you grow to like Qui-Gon throughout the course of this movie, who's a character you've never heard of prior, and
Yeah,
to have him murdered in front of his student is so heart wrenching.
yeah,
Yeah,
And-
that's a good one.
And he's the one who believed in Anakin the whole time, and so he kind of has to give this responsibility over to his student in terms of training Anakin to not fail him and prove himself to be the chosen one.
yeah.
I also
love that
I like
fight
the
scene.
ones. I like the fights they do in some of the ones they do in the newer films. I like how in like the first one, I've only seen it the once, but that bit at the end where Kylo Ren fights I don't know, Rey and Finn, I think.
Mhm.
I liked that. I liked how shitty they were, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just angrily chopping.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that they weren't quite as beautiful in the new ones. The cool thing about the prequels is that all the fights are so over choreographed that it
Yeah.
kind of becomes cool in its own silly way.
Yeah, I like that.
They're not
too.
like believable and as like real fights because they're dancing.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it works for like the time it's set, where like it was like right at the peak, where they had learned to like I don't know, really flip about.
Yeah.
Michael, was that your answer too?
Yeah,
Is that the one
I
you're
really
gonna-
love that Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fight. I really love that fight scene.
Did
Oh,
you
it's
guys lose
great,
your
yeah.
minds when he does the double lightsaber thing?
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
lost my shit.
Well, also, unlike any other fight scene in Star Wars, it's a unique weapon.
Yeah,
Like most of the fight scenes throughout all of Star Wars, particularly if we're talking Jedi versus Sith, are all one blade versus one blade. But that fight is two guys with single-bladed swords and one guy with a bow staff, essentially.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
it's such a dynamic contrast between what the people are fighting with and just the acrobatics. It's so much fun. And then the emotional stakes of it. I love that fight.
Yeah, I think they shouldn't have put that in the trailer. The bit where he like does the first lightsaber, and you're like, okay, I know what's going on here, and then just that second one comes out. They shouldn't. I mean, it made for an amazing trailer, but they should have kept it out, I think, and just had it be a surprise.
That's
I don't know if I've
interesting.
ever seen a trailer for that movie.
Oh, I saw it
Really?
when it was about to come out.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to trailers then.
Oh, it was
Um,
like the all-time biggest trailer at one point.
yeah, I didn't pay attention. What year did that movie come out? Was it 98?
98
I think it's
Yeah.
7, but I could be wrong.
was it 7?
Yeah, I was 3, so I didn't.
Oh yeah, you have a good excuse.
Yeah, maybe I watched the trailer after. I think if it's 97, I must have watched the whole thing, everything after.
Oh, it was people were going to see. It was paired with Meet Joe Black, this Brad Pitt movie, and people were going to see that movie just to watch the trailer, and then they're leaving as soon as the trailer was over.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It was the trailer. The trailer was kind of its own phenomenon. The trailer looked amazing. I mean, everybody was certain this was going to be a huge event. People didn't think it was going to turn out not as good as everybody expected.
Yeah, people had never seen a bad Star Wars movie before.
Yeah.
Not that I think the Phantom Menace is necessarily bad, but I can absolutely understand going to see that movie and walking out going, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
The expectations were super high. And also it cost the American economy like $30 million because so many people skipped work that day.
Oh my god!
Whoa.
True story. Including maybe myself. I don't remember, but
That's crazy.
yeah. See, that's funny because that scene with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fighting Darth Maul is one of the maybe the main point where that movie lost me.
Oh really?
Yeah, I felt that as I've stated before, I think every good Star Wars or Spielberg genre movie has a moment where they have to turn to the fans and explain what's going on, and it's total BS, but they, you know what I mean? It's like, for instance, when Obi-Wan explains the Force in the very first movie, it's a bunch of baloney he's talking about, but it's emotionally believable, and it makes you go, okay, I'm on board for the rest of the movie. I get the MacGuffin or whatever it is. And I feel like every one of those movies has one. And I remember watching Phantom Menace, and I kept waiting for that moment where they were going to fill me in on what the hell was going on. And the scene where they're fighting and then those lasers go up and they have to stop fighting and they're just staring at each other. I thought for sure that Obi-Wan and Darth Maul were going to have some kind of a conversation, and he was going to go, "Who are you? And what is this whole Sith thing going on here?" And Darth Maul was going to give them something to go on that was going to heighten the mystery and the legend of it. And instead, they just sat there and looked at each other, and like Qui-Gon decided to meditate, and Darth Maul, paced. And I remember as soon as they started up fighting again, I remember thinking, "Oh, what? Like, that was the moment they were supposed to do it." Now I don't it took me out of the movie for some reason. I don't know if anybody else ever felt that way, but
I think that's kind of great, though. Yeah, I think it's great that they have to just look at each other, especially when Qui-Gon's died and Obi-Wan's just almost not like a Jedi at all. He's angry and he's waiting for those shields to go up so he can just go fucking kill this guy because he's mad.
I thought that it was great.
And I love that he's got nothing to say to him. Darth Maul doesn't have anything to say to him. He's like, "I'm here to kill you. That's what I'm doing here." And Obi-Wan's like, "Well, you know what? Same. I'm here to murder you as well because you have you killed my master, my best friend, my mentor." And I think it's kind of great that they're like, "No, we don't. There's no dialogue exchange here. One of us is gonna die right now."
Yeah, I thought that was one of the best bits, actually.
I understand why they did it, and I understand why I might be in the total minority as far as people who feel that way. But for me, that was a big gaping area of the movie.
Well, yeah, the thing is, you're probably not, because people don't like that movie.
Yeah.
Well, so you sounds like you guys are will probably defend that movie. Are there things you think don't work about that movie, or do you think it's underappreciated? Or
now,
there are definitely things
that
I don't hate it in retrospect.
Yeah, there's things that don't work. Midi-chlorians are stupid.
Interesting.
I think it's. I love that George Lucas tried to make a Star Wars movie about diplomacy and trade law, but at the same time, you're like, you tried to make a blockbuster movie, the blockbuster movie, Star Wars, about diplomacy and trade law.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Yeah. Well,
And
I'll say
and
this.
Jar Jar Binks is in it, so
I think that if you read the Wikipedia description of the plot of all those prequels, I think they sound awesome. And I don't think they sound any better or worse than any of the other movies. I think it's all just the execution.
I would agree. I think
You
the
know?
story for the prequels is phenomenal. And in my mind, when I watch them, I kind of like fill in or alter moments based on like how I would approach the story. Not that I'm a better storyteller than George Lucas, because oh my god, I'm not. But there's things that I would probably do differently were it me. And being so far removed time wise from those movies, you can kind of do that, I think, now.
Yeah. How old were you when you saw it?
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
Oh wow! See, I think Phantom Menace was intended as a children's film for young children, and I think if I was really small, I would probably have really liked that movie a lot more. But as I saw it as an adult, and I had huge expectations. I mean, I was expecting Godfather level stuff.
Yeah.
Were you disappointed then? Because
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen The
What's that?
Phantom Menace, and I think it's pretty on par with The Godfather in quality.
They are similar movies.
Lots of long negotiation scenes.
Yeah.
Pod racing, a mutual theme.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There was just a real adrenaline rush to the originals, and it was so exciting. And I did have to check myself and think, well, is it just because I was a kid? Is that, or were these movies as good as I remember? But then I went back and watched them, and I was like, no, they're great.
Yeah.
Like one thing they did before the prequels came out is George Lucas tampered with the first 3 movies, and they re-released them at the theaters. And at the time, it was pretty cool. Like the effects look terrible now, but at the time it was pretty exciting and looked pretty neat.
Yeah, that was my first movie. Was the first Star Wars re-release.
Wow.
Yeah,
Was it
first
really?
theater experience was Star Wars.
Wow, that's cool. Okay. I didn't realize that. I thought you were talking about. I'm not sure what I thought you were talking about. Now that makes sense. Yeah. Wow, that's great. I feel like every kid should have an in-theater first Star Wars movie experience.
Yeah, it was like we watched Star Wars, and then I think that like the next movie I saw was like Batman and Robin, kind of like Johnny was saying last time.
So 1-2 punch of classics.
Yeah.
I actually see a kid really liking that movie, Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
think-
we were the
bad.
demographic audience.
Yeah,
like
for
the
sure.
target demographic.
I have that thing that you were talking about, Nate, where you like fill in the gaps of some of the story with Batman and Robin. I have that for sure.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of bits where I'm like, no, I think as I remember it, it was good.
Yeah, don't you remember the absolutely Oscar nominated scene where George Clooney pulls out the Bat credit card? It's a masterpiece. It's flawless.
Yeah, that can't be denied.
There was something like that, wasn't there?
Keep your Manchester by the sea. I'll take Batman and Robin.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I mean, speaking of like Star Wars, historically, those have been Oscar-winning films. At least on the like, I know the first one won a bunch of
Special
awards for special effects. Yeah.
Yeah. But for
And I
instance,
think I think they've always been nominated, even like the newer ones. Like they're always nominated for like VFX awards and stuff.
probably. I would assume so.
Yeah, they
I don't-
tend to be on the cutting edge of whatever technology is big in film at the time, whether it's
Yeah, I
CGI
don't know that
or-
they've, and I could be wrong. I don't know that like the newer ones have necessarily won. I could be wrong, but they're, I mean, always nominated.
Yeah.
Which is so bizarre because when I think about the prequels, I think like the number one thing that doesn't work, aside from some of the performances, probably is the effects. Often, some of the effects are amazing,
Yeah.
but then some of the effects, and I touched on the first part. There's just so much green screen and unnecessary CGI. Why are the
Yeah.
clone troopers in the last two movies? Why are they never real people?
That is such a
Yeah,
weird
that's a good
choice.
question.
I'll never understand that.
Yeah. That's a good question. Well, it's not to Lucas's credit that he didn't. It's one thing to make one movie and then you fix your course or whatever, but it seems like he didn't learn any. He was just in a bubble. Seems like all three of them had the same problems.
Yeah, I think so. And it does make them work in retrospect as a trilogy really well. Because one of the problems I have with the sequel trilogy is that they course correct every movie's reaction to the last movie.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just it's such a bummer that I think like The Force Awakens, you rehash some classic Star Wars story beats, sure, but you set things up in a promising way. And then The Last Jedi, a movie that I was not wild about when I first saw it. I liked it, but I wasn't wild about it. And on repeat viewings, I like it more and more each time. And I think especially now, having seen Rise of Skywalker, I'm like, yeah, The Last Jedi is probably a masterpiece because the Rise of Skywalker is such a letdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, the prequels, they are consistent, and you gotta appreciate that.
Yeah, that is true.
Speaking of the prequels, what are your thoughts on Jar Jar? I really don't think he's that bad, particularly in The Phantom Menace. I know he's partially responsible for the fall of democracy as the course of those films go on, but I really don't think he's that terrible of a character. For a kid appeal comedic relief, I don't think he's that bad.
I remember
I
not
mean-
liking Phantom Menace in general, and Jar Jar was not somebody I focused on as the main problem of the movie. But yeah, I don't think you can lay all the problems with any of those movies on Jar Jar.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think he's an unnecessary character, but I get why he's there. If you kind of think about what they may have been going for with that movie.
Yeah.
Because it's weird because they went more kid friendly, but it's such an adult storyline. Like the plot is so adult because, like I said, it's all like the bad guys are the Trade Federation.
Right.
You know? Like, I didn't know what those words meant the first time I saw the movie. I knew
I
that they
still
were
don't know what
aliens,
that means.
they were the bad guys, and I knew that they were called the Trade Federation or whatever. I didn't know what that meant.
Right.
But then, like, Jar Jar, and maybe that's why Jar Jar's there, is so he can hop on screen and go, like, hey, look, be entertained. I'm making fart jokes, you know? And if that was the purpose of that character, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they kind of moved away from him with the subsequent films, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably a little reactionary.
Yeah, for sure.
If he had a significant role to play in the movie besides just being comedic relief, then yeah, I think at least Lucas figured out that he wasn't nearly as funny as he thought he was going to be and was like, let's just put him over here. You know, at least that's my guess.
Yeah, I am glad that he wasn't written out completely.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's good that he took more of a backseat because, you know, yeah, and I think Johnny's right. That's one of the more reactionary things probably in those movies is, yeah. And probably for the better. I don't hate Jar Jar, but I don't love him. I wouldn't hate if there's less of him in those movies.
Yeah. Was he in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars at all? I feel like they completely abandoned him,
Yeah, I don't know actually.
or any of the shows. I don't remember him being in any of it.
Yeah,
after that.
I want to say probably, but I can't think of an example, like a
Yeah.
specific time he was there.
Kind of crazy if they just completely got rid of him. That's a pretty big character to just omit in that way.
But then did they even have dialogue? What would he have done in them?
Yeah, there was dialogue.
What was that? I don't remember there being dialogue, but I haven't seen
Yeah.
it since I was a kid and they were on Cartoon Network. I thought they were all just like big old fights.
Oh. No, they had dialogue. I see what you're saying. Yeah, but yeah, it wasn't much. I mean, it was pretty sparse. There were some silent episodes, but yeah, there was dialogue.
They were definitely action heavy. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think Jar Jar would have fit in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to see Jar Jar use his Sith force powers alongside Mace Windu to fight the droids. Personally
That's right.
speaking.
What's the theory that he's a Sith? What's that about?
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
He's like, what's that about? Yeah, I've seen loads of pictures, but not really any explanation.
it's kind of like a meme film theory based around slow motion scenes from the Phantom Menace, where Jar Jar's face is rendered in ways that look very suspicious during important scenes, and people jokingly say whether it's like, oh, he was clearly using the Force right there to manipulate the pod racing, or some random plot contrivance.
Huh.
That would have been a good twist.
That would have been an
Yeah.
amazing twist.
I've never heard that before. Super funny.
I think that would have actually been an awesome character reveal if you expected him to be the Kid Appeal
Yeah.
comic relief, and then he turns out to be an apprentice of the Dark Lord.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah. Actually, I'm kind of surprised there wasn't any major surprises like Luke, I am your father in any of the prequels. Were there?
Yeah, you'd
Like,
have thought.
they really didn't surprise anybody, did they?
I mean, I wasn't expecting Anakin and Padme to get together.
Well,
Their on-screen chemistry was like palpable in the theater, though.
that's true.
They clearly belong together. I'm kidding.
Hot stuff.
I've
Weird.
actually heard that
Yeah.
Natalie Portman requests that all of her romantic leads in films are played by Jake Lloyd, but most studios don't follow through with that.
Oh, poor
Just a
Jake
rumor,
Lloyd.
though, I think.
Oh man, he had a hard time, didn't he?
Yeah, poor kid.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, it, like
Yeah.
ruined his life, didn't it?
Yeah,
Something.
pretty much. There's like a really awkward interview with him, where the guy just wants to talk about Star Wars, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm, making films now, behind the scenes kind of stuff," and he just doesn't want to talk about it at all.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, talk about the corruption of children in Hollywood. Jeez.
I was just gonna say about my colors on this one. I don't know if you agree, Todd, but I was wondering
Are
about
you
the
coloring
colors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm
you
starting to
are.
color it, and I felt like it was going in a real kind of James Bond kind of direction.
Yeah.
So I did like a Star Wars James Bond thing, a little more pink, a little more blue, but
That's awesome.
Pink and blue
I'm enjoying
are
it.
my favorite colors.
They're very fun.
Yeah.
They're like easy go-tos. That and blue and orange.
Oh yeah.
Have you used the light brush? Have you tried that?
The light brush.
Yeah.
No. Is that in luminance?
I believe so. If you want to do laser blasts,
Oh yeah,
that's
light
probably,
brush.
probably going to be your best friend. Yeah. Should play with it a little bit and see how you feel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like-
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I used it on your lightsaber here. So,
Yeah, that's very lightsabery.
in fact, I used it on the sun in the background. Like there's all kinds of stuff you can do with it.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm a big fan. Yeah, I like it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm having fun with this one.
I'm a big advocate of pink. I think pink is it's like, go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always lean more pink
can
than
be
red.
a great color. Yeah, pink and black is a fantastic combination that
Yeah.
people forget about.
I like pink very much, Lois.
Right? Oh,
Callback. Check out Ink Drink Think episode 9, where we talk about the
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
What would you guys say are some of your favorite vehicle designs within the franchise?
ooh.
The TIE Fighter, for me, I think it's ominous, but it's also not too elaborate that you wouldn't believe that it's not like a grunt ship that a bunch of foot soldiers are flying, you know? I love the TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the TIE Fighter. I was going to say the TIE Fighter.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for an X-wing.
Yeah. Did
But I
did you
also-
watch The Mandalorian?
I watched the first season. I haven't started the season 2 yet.
Second episode has some great X-wing scenes in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that.
I'm also one that I really liked when I was a kid, and I had to buy the Lego set for it because I was a big Star Wars Lego fan. Was like the Jedi Starfighters from the prequels.
Oh yeah.
I liked those because it was like I could always, even when I was a kid, I was like, that's a precursor for the TIE Fighter in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And I loved them.
Yeah.
Man, I loved them so much. Yeah, those and X-Wings are just, man, those are cool ships.
Yeah.
What about walkers? What about AT-ATs?
Oh, what a great scene from Empire Strikes Back, man.
Yeah.
Also,
ingenious usage of action in the sense that they didn't destroy them through bombing or anything. It was very physical in the way that they were like, oh, we're going to wrap the legs around and trip them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. There's a lot I think I didn't appreciate when I have watched the Star Wars movies. Any of them.
I just love that first shot of the walkers because I remember that really coming out of nowhere. I was like, what are those things? And then they have this very, instead of really showing it, it's like grainy footage through some electric binoculars.
Uh-huh.
So it's a great first impression because it looks pretty real. And it was unlike anything, was there ever a vehicle that looked anything like that before? What would they be, like giant elephants? Kind of interesting to think of what the hell they were supposed to be. But yeah, and oh man, yeah, such good stuff.
Yeah, and what a great example of like ramping things up for a sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, Empire is, a lot of people's example for like the perfect sequel, but yeah, the walkers specifically, right off the bat at the beginning of the movie, you're like, oh my god, what are these things now?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it was all like dogfights in the first one, and like now it's like foot soldiers with these little speeders, but they've got these like big mechanical monsters.
Yeah. Right.
Like, how are we
Yeah.
gonna beat them? But of course they have a plan, and yeah.
Well, yeah. But they seem unbeatable at first. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good stuff, man. So good. I actually really like the land speeder. As hokey as it might or might not seem now, at the time as a kid, I thought the land speeder was extremely cool looking.
I think it's still pretty cool looking.
The brown ones, like in Empire?
Well, in Empire?
Oh, I was picturing the thing they go around in the sand in.
Yeah,
I was-
the original.
I'm thinking the whatever it's called, the speeder bikes that the stormtroopers have, not in Empire, in Return of
in
the
Jedi?
Jedi. Yeah,
Oh, I was
Yeah,
a big
those are
fan of
cool.
those, though. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
do
had
like
a
those.
toy of those. Yeah,
Did you? Nice.
yeah. Oh, it was great. Came with a little Leia and her like camo poncho thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, those were cool.
Do you
I have
guys
no idea
prefer
what
the
I'm gonna do with
clones
this
or
water.
the stormtroopers?
Stormtroopers.
Yeah, same.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like the redesign they got in the new movies.
Oh yeah.
The First Order
That
ones,
was good.
yeah, they're very cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
But that and Kylo Ren are the best things to come out of the sequels.
Yeah, no argument there.
I'm having some trouble with the fur now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm
Only
trying to
with my
figure out
colours.
fucking water here.
Yeah, don't worry. You don't need to. Todd. It's your pencils are fine. Well, they're better than fine. They were great.
They're all right. They're just okay.
They're all right. They're fine.
It's
No,
whatever.
They were great.
I'll
But
ink
I'm
them.
I'm getting to like the colors, and I was doing like just blue and then pink as like a reflection off of the blaster there. But now that I've got to the fur, I'm like, I think I've settled on something I kind of like. Just kind of dashes. I tried something much more solid before, like a big block, and it didn't work. But this is looking better, I think.
So you're trying to put reflections in the fur? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, if I've got like, so the two figures are just one shade of blue,
Right.
and then the only other color I think I'm going to put on them is pink, which really worked for how graphic the hand drawing is.
Nice.
And now I've got to figure out a way to do that with the fur, which is a lot more flowy. I've drawn it.
Yeah, I can see.
I think that's working.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to draw anything underwater here.
God damn, yeah. I don't
Mike's
envy
gonna-
you for that.
Yeah, he's gonna make me break out the wake from Sean Murphy.
Oh yeah, that's a good choice for water.
Yeah, actually, I was struggling with that background, Nate. I know at the bottom you can see I'd penciled in some like coral reef kind of textures down there for you to noodle with, but yeah, like I didn't know if you were gonna put in like a wave texture or like black it out like you're doing for like the mass of the ocean, you know?
Oh yeah, I was gonna go black always. It's just gonna involve like a lot of whiteout. But I actually, Todd, I picked up some of those white gel pens that you mentioned. I don't remember when. You mentioned one time that you used to use them. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with them.
Oh,
They're kind of iffy on like if they work.
Yes.
But
they can be a total
when they
nightmare.
do, man, I'm having a lot of fun with them.
Yeah.
I think I used to use them for like instead of whiteout. I never really used whiteout. Because I've kind of developed my style more digitally now than I did when I was inking traditionally. But I definitely use those gel pens. I think I went to a con and saw an artist using them, and then immediately was like straight onto my mum and dad and was just like, I need those because artists have them. That's what artists have. I need them.
I must have seen somebody use them, which is how I must have gotten the idea as well. But I can't think of who that would have been. But yeah, they're great. I've never had much luck with like white paint and brushes. And those tend to take to the ink pretty well. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I used them a little bit on my when I was hanging out with Mike and Matt on Monday. I was just kind of like drawing to get a little bit of practice in after the weekend. I didn't draw a whole lot, or
Yeah.
really at all over the weekend. And I drew Etrigan the demon and
Oh,
messed
wow.
up a lot. So I needed some more like fine bits of whiteout. But I think it came out pretty good. I'll kind of show it on the screen real quick. Pretty cool little doodle here. But yeah, there's a lot of whiteout on it.
Oh man, yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you post that?
Not yet.
Yeah, you need to. That looks really cool.
Yeah, it was one of those where I wasn't really afraid to like overwork it because I was just kind of like moving my hand, and that's something that I worry about a lot. Is like, oh, I'm gonna overwork it, but every once in a while I'll just kind of like let go, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna stop moving the brush till I just want to. And that was one of those drawings where it ended up with a lot more black than I had sort of expected from it, but in a good way.
Mm.
And that's kind of where I'm coming from with this drawing here. I don't think, I mean, obviously you can always go too far, but I think Mike's left it open enough that I can kind of just go, and we'll see how far is too far.
Mhm.
Especially with these fish. I'm just throwing some brush marks down on these fish.
Yeah, Nate, I'm getting into the brushwork now on the Luke drawing.
Oh,
And
good.
I'm like trying to figure out like placement, just in the sense of like I don't want to overdo the black, because I did noodle in like a lot of details in the background that I don't want to just cover up in black, and make moot that I spent time doing them. You know, so I'm like I've kind of deviated from your pencils slightly in terms of where
Oh,
you
okay.
had placed some of the black, and
Yeah.
so I'm going to leave the majority of this background white and maybe
Cool.
like hatch
Yeah.
a little bit where you had intended black to be, but I don't want to like make it completely blacked out. You know what I mean? I don't want to just have like a huge swatch of dark there. Might have more of
Yeah.
a gray tone.
Cool. Yeah, I kind of, that's like the one thing I wanted to kind of leave open to you, or that I ended up leaving open to you, was like the background. I don't care at all what you do with that. Yeah, have fun with it for sure. Because yeah, I was just like, here's a black shape, here's a black shape. I don't care how you make it that, or how much you want to draw, how little you want to draw. Just go.
Yeah, I'm actually getting into Luke's shirt folds now, which are low key one of my favorite things to draw. So, yeah, this is like a perfect drawing for me to ink in terms of like noodling background elements, good fabric, you know,
Nice.
not a lot of figures.
Yeah, next time we trade, I'm just gonna like draw an army
Yeah.
in a prison courtyard.
Hey, I'll be prepared, man. I've drawn enough prison scenes already with Ultramax.
Yeah.
My graphic novel, which hopefully you can pick up when it's officially out and released to the public.
Yeah.
Spotlight that. Well, Nate, I have you spotlighted right now. Is there anything you want to point out about this absolutely stellar Kit Fisto drawing? I really love how you
Thanks.
tackled the fish. Now that I'm getting a closer look at them.
Yeah, the fish I was nervous about, because I mean you didn't really provide a whole lot there, and I like that because I was able to kind of just go in and go like, well, I'm just gonna kind of render the form in a fun way, and they actually came out a lot better than I was expecting them to, because like I said, I really didn't know how it was gonna go. Same thing with the lightsaber. I didn't know really what I was gonna do for the lightsaber being like underwater, almost said underground. And having like that bubble, but I went with kind of like a weird Kirby Crackle-esque kind of thing. I looked at some images from the episode Kit Fisto was featured on from the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars, and he just has like bubbles around it, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the first one that I don't like finish, or at least get close to finishing really on the show. Not that I'm pretty close, but there's still quite a bit to be done. But I'm actually, yeah, I'm really, really pretty happy with what's happening. I disregarded, sorry, Mike, a little bit of what you did at the bottom, just
No, that's
because
fine.
I was trying to finish by the end of the episode, and I was like, I'm just gonna have the black of the water fade out, and sort of like whoosh up, if that's a word I can use, whoosh.
Of course.
And yeah, I was gonna add like a lot of bubbles, so that's something that I got to get into is the bubbles, because I think that'll be really fun to play with. But that's like a whiteout thing, and now I'm seeing some more black that I need to add. But yeah, really fun drawing. I think the pose that you've got him in is super super fun.
Well, hey man, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I'm, you know, like I said a minute ago, a fan of everybody's work here. So it's really cool to see this piece come to life and be a fan of yours and see what you did over top of something I started. So I'm just
hopefully
over
we're
the
doing
moon.
pretty good.
Yeah, man, I love it so far. I think it's great.
Well, thank you.
Well, somebody I'm always eager to see their finished products of. Todd, let's hop over to you. Let's check out how Darth Vader's
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm playing around with the filters.
How many versions do you have? 170?
A lot, yeah.
A lot.
Turn it down. It's kind of the last thing I do is I go through the filters and just see what comes up with different combinations. But I also run out of layers. I almost
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
the Tusken Raider, but he's in there. So he almost got lost in the shuffle.
Nice.
so
Man,
I
that's looking cool.
I noticed there was this big blank space, and I was like, "What? I'm missing something in that hole." But yeah, this was a fun one. So a psychedelic Vader, and let's see. I'll put Johnny's pencils up at the top. See if I can.
Let me see.
Oh geez, what'd I do? There we go. Yeah. So there's the pencils, and then there's my coloring over the top of it.
Man,
Damn.
That's so cool. I love
That
that.
looks amazing.
This was fun, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
that
was
looks
also
great.
the first one I didn't do any prep work on. Whereas usually I kind of get a little bit of a foothold into it before we start. Whereas this one, but I think I was thinking about it a lot, and it was just there was so many. It was so simple. It was like the Vader shape, the suns, the sand. I had it in my mind. I was like knowing what I was going to get to play with, and
Yeah, that looks so good.
yeah, it's fun, man. Didn't think I was going to add any blue to it, and I really enjoyed sticking that blue in there.
Damn,
I
you always
keep-
pull
I
out
keep-
some wild shit, man.
No truer words have ever been said, Johnny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny looking. I like it. I love it.
Yeah, that
Very
looks great.
psychedelic Vader. Yeah, this was really fun. I do keep wanting to like mess with the suns a little bit. For instance, I keep wanting to make the suns like super giant, but there's a point where you can't tell what it's supposed to be. So, and of course, since it's Procreate, all you got to do is just tap it and it goes back. So you
Yeah,
can do stuff like that. But yeah, those was fun, man.
yeah, that looks amazing. Well done, man.
Yeah. I'm very happy with it. This was great. I really enjoy these episodes as well.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
something
same.
really liberating about just like being able to draw, or ink for that matter, or color in your case, Todd, that
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about so much of like whether or not you need a fresh pair of eyes. Like, did I do the anatomy right? Did I do this right? Blah, blah, blah. You just kind of have the
Yeah.
freedom to just do it. Just put color or put black down and figure out what it's going to look
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So everybody, if you're watching right now, Johnny had to duck out due to the time difference. It's quite late when we get to record these for Johnny, but he's typically a trooper and sticks it out. But I don't know. I guess tonight he just wasn't up for it. I don't know. Maybe it was us. I'll have to sleep on it. Maybe I won't be able to sleep because I'm just thinking about how Johnny left us in such a sorry state.
We upset
Yeah.
him again.
I'm pretty mad about it, but
So here, guys, I'll wrap out real quick and I'll come around to my piece just to show where I got to.
yeah, I'm
So-
excited.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out this background. I think I am going to end up blacking a lot of this upper part. I tried doing like a feathering, but I think in reality what I'm going to do is I'm just going to black it out and then use some hatching like I did in this spot over here, which is probably hard to see
Yeah.
on camera, but just hatch it down into the light source and then see if there's any other spots where I really need to bring emphasis to with the blacks. I think right here I might need to outline Luke's shape a little bit. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how this is turning out.
Yeah, that's looking really good, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we've all said, like it's so much fun just to work over top of somebody else's pencils.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's because the difficult aspects are already figured out, or just because it's a different approach than what you normally do. There's something magical about this. There's something really like, to use the word again, liberating when you get to do this. So yeah, I'm just having an absolute blast doing this. So yeah, I'm confident in how it's turning out, and I'm excited to share it all with you on Instagram when it's finally finished.
Yeah, I'm just mad. This is the first one I haven't like finished. There've been some like touches here and there on some of the other drawings, but I am not done with this one. It's really frustrating.
Oh, boo-hoo. Now you're in the same place that I'm always in. I'm
I
not
know,
finished,
I
and
know.
I have to spend
I
time
never-
later.
I never.
Man, it sucks to be like Mike.
Yeah. Who could ask for a worse curse?
Yeah. Johnny's always done when we start, so I guess I don't
Yeah.
want to be Johnny either.
Well, that's his secret. That's, it's like his I'm always
secret.
angry, Captain, He
Yeah.
just shows up finished and he doesn't have to do
He's
anything.
like, if you do the drawing beforehand, you're done when the episode's over.
when it's needed, yeah. If you do the work early, you have
Yeah.
more free time later.
Yeah.
Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into this episode 11 of Ink, Drink, Think. Of course, if you like this video, check out the links in the description below. You can find the links to all of our Instagram and social medias, where you can check out not only these finished pieces on the Ink, Drink, Think Instagram, but you can also find our various portfolios and all of the artistic endeavors that we're pursuing. Except for Johnny's, because he left early, so we're cutting Johnny out. Guys, if you like this video, make sure you leave a comment. Tell us which Star Wars movie is your favorite. We want to know. Will we reply? Let's find out. Anyways, guys, this has been Michael Pickard, joined by my Jedi Council of the absentee Johnny Wise, Nate Wells, and Todd Blackwood. Make sure you guys tune in for episode 12, and make sure you follow us on social media.